Guys, welcome back to Simple Sanctuary Garden. We are going on a little bit of a garden tour today, and it's going to be a bit different than normal. We had a freeze last night, and I tried to cover things as best I could with some spare bed sheets, but I flung everything on at the last minute when I got off work, and we were losing light, so I didn't get to film it. I am going to link you over to Brooke at Seed to Plate. She is in Texas and is another warm climate gardener who did basically the same thing that I did. And you can see how it's done over there. She is super cute, has a great channel. So if you're interested in hot climate gardening, I would definitely recommend following her. She's also got a really awesome community plot that I'm pretty fascinated with. But aside from all of that, I want to show you guys what survived the frost last night. There is quite a lot of damage, and I actually think it's going to take a few days to really know if some things are going to bounce back or not. But I'll walk you guys around. You can see what's going on. So we're going to start with my biggest question, and that is this squash plant. This is a Lady Godiva squash, which is sort of like a pumpkin, but really heavy on the seeds. And my husband is a big fan of pumpkin seeds. I didn't get any to grow during the summer. I think it got too hot, or I just had bad luck. So I tried for the fall, and I think I started them a bit late because we were just starting to get squash, and then the frost hit. So you can see the top bits of the vine. Because I'm in small backyard raised beds, I'm trellising these. The top bits of the vine definitely got some frost damage. They are they're not mush, but they're definitely not firm. And I've got this beautiful squash here and another baby one that I found today. Look at that. So I don't know if the whole plant is going to be toast now, because these leaves at the bottom, although they do have some powdery mildew, are fine. So maybe it'll bounce back. Same with over here. It's just this bit on the top. And this guy's all loosey-goosey. It's just this top layer, and the stuff further down is fine. So I'm really hoping maybe they can bounce back. I think that's going to be really heavily dependent on if we get another frost soon. It's supposed to get down to 38 tonight, or 35, depending on which weather app you look at. And that's really close to freezing, which makes me a little nervous. I might cover again, at least the squash. I've told you guys before, peppers can be perennial plants where I am. This is my evidence. As long as I cover them, they come out fine. You can see where the edge of the bed sheet was for this little guy. So he does have some frost damage on this outer half, but he's mostly fine. I have full confidence that he's gonna bounce back. An interesting note, if you are using bed sheets, old bed sheets to cover, if you get a really, I don't wanna say heavy frost in that it's like a low temperature, but if there's a lot of frost, so if you're in a really humid location and you get a really strong dew fall, if that bed sheet gets really soaked and freezes while it's touching a leaf, it's still gonna freeze that leaf. Does that make sense? So you wanna try and have a buffer zone of air around your plants if you can. A lot of times I'm not really able to do that. So I just have to hope it's not gonna be too much of a dew fall. There was definitely a very thick, for us in Florida, there was a thick layer of frost this morning, and you can really tell. On to the tomatoes. So these lovelies were covered, and you can see there is a little frost damage, particularly on the tops of the plant. I bent the top of this one with the bed sheet. I should have done that differently, and it's slightly cracked now. I think it's gonna be okay. I think it's gonna bounce back. These leaves are not super frost damaged. They are a little bit, but it's not terrible. These ones up here definitely are, and that's where it was touching the sheet. Oh, you can really see it well with this one. So this outer edge was up against the sheet. It froze, so this whole branch now is toast. And that is one of the dangers of using bed sheets as your row cover. Here is our massive habanero plant. You guys saw this a few months ago. It was super sick. It was competing for water with this lemon tree that has got some ginormous lemons at the bottom. They're not competing for water anymore. I covered this one with the bed sheet. It was right on top of the leaves. But this little dude is hardy, so there's no damage on this whatsoever. It's kind of amazing. The Thai soldier beans are dead. I didn't have a way to really cover them. And honestly, as the temperature's been dropping at night, I've been noticing like the leaves were yellowing, they were dropping. It's super sensitive to cooler temperatures. It really doesn't like it. So I just kind of let those go, knowing that they were gonna die. I'm fine with that. I thought someone just drove up to my house for a second, sorry. I'm fine with that. So all of that's gonna have to be torn out soon and in the next couple days. When we came out this morning, we weren't totally sure the full extent of the damage to the beans because the sun hadn't warmed anything up yet. So the leaves still looked full, and we thought maybe there was a chance they were gonna be okay, but it looks like all of these beans are gonna be toast. So we'll need to harvest like these beans down here. But what I wanna show you is how cool what I call like winter veggies are, and it's basically anything in your brassica family, anything that is cool tolerant, because they've all bounced back, including the seedlings. Aside from the squash, this bed is full of brassicas and similar things. When I came out this morning, this dude actually looked pretty terrible, and I thought for sure it was a goner, and was planning on tonight going and researching turnips to see if I was wrong about them being so cold tolerant. All of that has bounced back. These bok choy seedlings down here have bounced back. A couple of them have been eaten in the past couple days, which I'm okay with. I'll just stick something else there. So I left all of those seedlings uncovered because I figured I've got plenty of time to start some more, and I really wanted to know how frost hardy they were gonna be, especially at such a tender stage. And it got down to like, I think 30 last night, and I have never seen it get below like 28 here. So that's really about as cold as it ever gets, and it did beautifully. I have one last thing to show you guys, and it's because I need help. I planted something and was so sure I was gonna remember what I planted there, but I don't at all. So I'm gonna show you the seedlings, and if you know what seedling this is, please let me know, because I don't know. And I want to know, but I don't know what it is. Does anybody recognize these seedlings? I have no clue what these seedlings are. They're very cute. Clearly, I just planted a ton of them so that I can cut them and use them as sprouts as they get bigger, but I don't know what they are. So if you know what these are, please tell me. I keep telling you guys the importance of, labeling your seed starts, but I never do it. And I guess I just like surprising myself. I don't know. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick post-frost garden tour. I know it was a bit rushed because I'm losing light, but if you are in a hot weather climate like me, do not worry about necessarily losing your plants, because for instance, in 2 days, no, tomorrow it's going to be back up into the 70s here. So I'm just going to start more stuff. It's not going to be a problem for me. If you're in a cooler climate, if I was in a cooler climate, I would probably feel differently, but I'm not. So there we go. Again, hope you guys enjoyed watching today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. We'll talk soon.